welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to do a basic chicken stock. I've shown myself making chicken stock occasionally. We did chicken stock when I made the chilaquiles, and I went over when I cooked the chicken for the tortilla soup not too long ago. But I thought, we have this little shop here. I'm going to get off on a tangent, I just know it. We have a little shop, it's called the Butcher, the
Village Butcher.
The Village Butcher, that's right. And we go there from time to time. It's kind of a hoity-toity kind of, lots of the wealthier people shop there. You can get really good corn-fed, grass-fed, organic meat there, and antibiotic-free chicken, and they have really nice deli meats and gourmet baskets and things like that. The reason that we went there was because we like to get what's called Taylor ham, or when I was growing up we called it lunch roll. It's really kind of a regional Eastern thing. It's Pennsylvania Dutch, and it's round ham. It's Amish, and it's absolutely delicious. You eat it for breakfast. We haven't had it in a long time because it's about $10 a pound. But we thought, oh, let's go get some lunch roll because we haven't had any for a while. And while we were there, and I don't know if you remember me telling you that when they butcher their own chickens, they don't kill them, they don't butcher them, slaughter them, but they cut them up and sell them in pieces in the case however you want them. And when they butcher the chicken breasts for boneless, skinless chicken breasts, they have all the bones left over. So this is what I get when I make my chicken stock. And I want you to notice, this is almost 3 pounds, and it's 49 cents a pound. So this was $1.43, and there's a lot of chicken on there, and a lot of flavor in there. So this is perfect for making stock out of. And they had 3 packages today. They had 2 in the case, and Rick came and said, "They have 2, do you want them?" I said, "Yeah." And the lady went back, and she comes, and says, "I have 1 more back here, do you want it?" I thought, what the heck, I'll just go home and make stock right now. Now, before I get too far along, I have to show you a present that I got in the mail this week, because I am just completely blown away by it. And I'm not going to share with you who sent it to me because I don't have permission, but she is one of my subscribers, and she and I speak back and forth quite often. And I got a box in the mail this week. I was expecting something else that I had ordered, and I thought, oh, that's what that is, and I opened it up. I didn't open it up right away when I got home, and when I opened it up, because I thought it was what I was expecting, I opened it up, and it was a gift wrap box, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a present. This is a Peppermate pepper mill. And any of you who enjoy watching Ina Garten or Paula Deen on the Food Network, this is the pepper mill that they use. And it's a ceramic pepper mill, meaning this part here is made out of ceramic. And it is one of the best pepper mills that you can get. It's, I don't know how many of you are familiar with America's Test Kitchen. It is a cooking show on PBS, but they also have an amazing website. And I am a huge fan of America's Test Kitchen and their baby, Cook's Country. I have almost all of their cookbooks, and I absolutely adore them. But she sent me this and these 2 bags of peppercorns, and again, I used the mixed peppercorns in something not too long ago, and she sent me this is a peppercorn blend and just the traditional Tilicherry peppercorns, which are some of the finest peppercorns you can get. And I just want to say thank you. I already sent her a lovely thank you message. Pardon me. But I just had to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. This was just such an unexpected surprise, and this will get used and used and used and used. I'm so excited about this. So I'm going to leave this out because I'm going to use these in my stock, and I'm going to put my other peppercorns back in my cupboard. So I want to show you, and I know I'm kind of yammering, but I want to show you from start to finish how this goes. I didn't prep any of this ahead of time except to wash it. The only thing that I didn't wash was the leeks, and I didn't wash this either, so we'll rinse that out. But let me, I'm just going to get rid of my pot for just a second. And we're just going to start. I'm going to cut one bunch of celery. I'm going to put the whole thing in here. But I want to make sure it's clean. So, and it looks really clean. Yeah, there's hardly any dirt in here at all, but I'm just going to rinse these out. And this is flat leaf Italian parsley. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the stems in the pot. And I'm just going to tear the rest of it in half and put it right in the pot. And then I'm going to bring the pot back here. This stalk is going to be strained anyway, so it's not like it has to be perfect. I'm going to break the celery up. You don't even need to have a knife. All we're using this for is to develop layers of flavor. And it's going to, as it cooks, it's going to soften. It's going to break up on its own anyway. This is not rocket science. Good stock, there is no substitute for it. If you can make your own, and today we're gonna, the better it is. And I am a big fan of convenience. I use stock in a box. I don't like stock in a can. I use bouillon. But today I'm able to make my own, and I really wanted to share with you how to do this and encourage you. You know, we've got holidays coming. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And you're going to have turkey carcasses, ham bones. And you know what? Don't throw those away. Those make fabulous soup and stock. I'm going to show you how to make a wonderful bean soup with a leftover ham bone. When we have a leftover ham bone. But this really couldn't be any easier. The trickiest part here is, let's see, I am going to top these carrots. I scrub these, but I'm not peeling them. And then I'm going to see how much stock I get. You have a couple of options. You can pressure can your stock in quart jars, which is what I may do after I let this cool tomorrow. I'm going to probably put it in the refrigerator overnight so that I can defat it in the morning. What?
You did that backwards.
I did what backwards?
You threw the stem in there.
Did I? Oh, I did. Look at that.
Good thing I'm watching you.
Yeah, it is. I have to be policed. Gordon would be pissed. All right. I have 3, because, you know, this is a lot. I've got a lot of chicken. So, I'm going to use 3 medium onions. No need to chop them or dice them. We are simply rendering flavor out of them. I'm not peeling them either. And when you leave the skins on the onion, your stock gets a beautiful color.
You're not even cut the roots off of them.
No. We're going to strain this. We're also going to skim it while it's cooking. And I'll show you that later. Garlic. Oh, maybe not that garlic. See? I told you I wasn't perfect. This one feels the same.
It's the same.
That's why I bought new garlic. I was hoping this was still good.
Mm-hmm. I should have shown them how it looked, what it was bad.
Well, I can show them that.
If your garlic isn't that white inside, it's bad.
This is what garlic is supposed to look like when it's perfect, okay? Perfect and beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to break this up. I cut the whole head in half, and now I'm just breaking it away. I'll put that on there too. From the root end. And some of you are going to be entirely uncomfortable putting this, the garlic paper in here. Please don't be, because it just doesn't matter. didn't cut that in half. That's not going to come anyway. These are really, really fresh, which is nothing to complain about. Just break these away. And another good thing about a chicken stock is you can flavor it any way you like. If you want to make a smaller batch that has a more Asian flair, then throw some cilantro and some ground ginger and some lemongrass in here. If you want it to be more Mexican or Southwestern, then go ahead and throw some cilantro and some jalapeno peppers in here. And it'll all flavor the stock. Whoops. And I'm going to put 2 lemons in here, which I have washed. And I'm just going to cut them into wedges. This really brightens the stock and it makes a really lovely flavor. Whoops.
Sissy.
Yeah, she won't eat lemons. But,
I'd like to see that.
yeah, I'd like to see that too. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is a little tricky. I made a bouquet garni. This is just an herb bundle. I went out in the garden and I got some fresh sage, some fresh thyme, and there's, I promise, there's bay leaf in here. Oh, there it is.
No basil?
And some rosemary. No, the basil's done. Just drop it in. Now, this is what we have in here now. This is a leek. L-E-E-K. A leek is not an onion. It's not like a big fat green onion. A leek is a cross between a shallot and garlic. And it is amazing. It's wonderful and delicious. And I'm not going to use this green part. We can use the green part. But look, leeks are very sandy. They're very dirty. So when we process, you know what, I may use that part. These are what I'm going to throw out. We're going to cut and see, what I should have done was cut these in half, and I will do that with the main stalk, but don't do what I'm doing. I want you to cut these up and break them. I have a deep bowl of water, okay? And what's going to happen is these are going to kind of take a little bit of a bath while we get the rest of this stuff ready. What I want you to do, I do not want you to cut the root end off yet. I want you to take your good sharp knife I want you to take this top part of the leek off. This is the part that's been sitting at the grocery store and everybody's been touching it. Just run your knife through it. And then when you get about that far down, don't go, because you see, this is the root. You don't want, that's going to be tough and nasty. You don't even want that in there. Just kind of break these up in the water. What time is your game on?
Not till tonight.
Oh, that's right, 8 o'clock. It is Saturday afternoon, and Notre Dame will play this evening, so Rick will be busy doing other things, but we're going to be doing a couple of videos today. I'll show you what I'm going to make for dinner later. Okay, now, just let these sit for a minute, and then we're going to kind of scoop them out, because what will happen is all the sand is going to float to the bottom. You can already see some of it floating to the bottom, and it's just going to rest at the bottom of the bowl, and it won't end up in your soup or in your stock. That's what you want to do. So let me wipe off my board. You always want a clean work surface. Okay. Let me just get rid of these. My dogs are all whining because they don't know if they want in or if they want out, and the screen door is open because today it is 63 outside and I am so happy. Okay. Chicken. We're just going to open this chicken up. And I'm going to dump it in there. You can see, look at how meaty these are. We're not going to save the meat. I mean, this is going to make a lovely stock. But, and it's going to make a lot. But when you can, if you are able to come across a deal like this, there's no reason, even if it's just to buy one package, if you're one person, just make enough for yourself. If you are lucky enough to have a pressure canner, you can can this, or you can, I have to wash my hands. Once this is cool, you can put it in Ziploc bags and lay it flat. Once you seal it, lay it flat on a cookie sheet and put it in your freezer until it's frozen, and then you can store it like books inside your freezer. And then you can store it, you know, if you're one person, you can store it in 1 or 2 cup, like you can put it in quart freezer bags, or if you're a family, you can put it in gallon freezer bags. And you can also put it in containers like we put the shrimp. All right, I'm gonna return this back here. And I'm satisfied that these are fairly clean, so. And this just adds another layer of flavor. And let's see. I'm gonna leave, let's see. Now, if I set that aside, look at, you can see all the dirt that came out of there. And this was actually a fairly clean leek. I have had leeks before that were just filthy because they had so much sand in them. And you can't help that because leeks like to grow in sand. So, next thing we're going to do is I am going to take some of these peppercorns . A teaspoon, a tablespoon, whatever is your preference. That's the mixed peppercorn. And then I thought I had, here, I'll use some of these black peppercorns as well. There we go. And then we're going to use salt, kosher salt. Do not have a cow. Of course, if you had a cow, then I could, you know, butcher it and fill my freezer, and then we can make beef stock. Okay, the only thing I'm going to do now is I am going to fill my pot with filtered water to cover its contents. Then I am going to set it on medium heat, and I am going to let it come to a simmer, and I am going to let it simmer for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, or maybe longer. It just depends on how I feel about it after that amount of time is up. At which point, I am going to turn the burner off. I am going to slide the pot to the back of the stove, and I'm going to forget about it. During the time that it is simmering, I'm going to take my skimmer, and you know, when you make a stock, and I'll come back and show you what that looks like when I'm doing it. It's going to make a it's going to foam. And it's going to look nasty. You don't want that in your stock because it's going to make your stock cloudy. And you want nice, clear stock. You're going to all the trouble of making it. You may as well do it right. You want to skim all of that foam off of there and just move it aside and just get rid of it. So I'm going to, my pot is almost filled up, so we're just going to do that. Once the water is in there, we'll give it a good stir with a big spoon. And then we're just going to let it do its thing. Stock pretty much makes itself. All you have to do is put the ingredients together. Now, if you're going to ask me questions about beef stock, you know, there are two schools of thought when it comes to stock, and both are absolutely correct. I'm using raw bones and with meat on them, and that's because that's what I have time to do. If you have a turkey carcass or a roast chicken carcass, go ahead and use that. Throw it in the pot. Save it, you know, make roast chicken. You can have chicken dinner at least 3 times off of a nice, large roasted chicken. You can just throw the carcass in the pot with some veggies and some water, and you can make a nice stock. I mean, you're not going to make this much, but you're going to make a nice amount for you. I'm going to see it's starting to loosen up. And I'm just going to kind of make it move around a little. Get that water in there. And some of those things are going to start to come to the top. And when it's loose enough for everything to move around comfortably, that's when you want to go ahead and stop putting water in here. Of course, you do want everything to be comfortable. You don't want it to be packed in there, otherwise it's not gonna cook well for you at all. I'd say we're good. Now,
who's gonna lift that?
me. I'm strong like bull. All right. You can't lift it. You have the camera.
That's why I was asking.
Okay. Medium heat. Lid. Go away and do something. Take your daughter to the music store so she can buy reeds for her clarinet. Can you guess what I'm going to do next? Okay. We'll be back when it's time to skim a little. And I'll see you then. Okay. This has been on the stove for, about an hour, I'd say. And you can see it gets foamy, and it'll be easier to skim this once it starts to boil and simmer. But it's getting there, and you can see the chicken is starting to cook. It's starting to become more opaque. The vegetables are starting to soften up a bit. And they're going to render all of their good flavors in here. So, when this boils a little more, I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like when I skim it. Because it's nowhere near ready to boil. I mean, this may be on the stove 3 or 4 hours because this pot is just so large. I mean, This is a 21 quart pot. So, I'll come back later when this is going to be more a little easier to skim off. Hey everybody, it is Sunday. And I let my stock sit on the back of the stove overnight. I let it cool. And now I am taking out the big chunks. And I'm going to get ready to ladle this into some clean pint jars. And I'm going to pressure can it. That way I can save it indefinitely. And it's not going to take up any, well, not indefinitely, but for a much longer time. And I won't have to take up any room in my freezer. So I'm just taking out all of the bones and the vegetables, and I'm setting them in a bowl off to the side. And I've already discarded one bowl, and we shared some of the chicken meat with the cats. Trust me, you won't want to eat this meat. It's spent. It's given up all of its flavor to the stock. And so have all of the vegetables and the herbs and everything else that you put in here.
Cats loved it though.
The cats loved it, I'm sure. I have no doubt. Let me just take care of this over here real quick. And what I'm going to tell you too is I had told you that I would be skimming that stock, but I didn't end up skimming it. And I kept wondering, why didn't I have to skim this? And the reason I didn't have to skim it was because I didn't use a whole chicken and didn't have the skin on it, and it was just bones and meat. And you can see that this stock is very clear, and I have not defatted it, and I'm not going to, because there is hardly any fat on the top of this stock pot at all. You see the fat that's floating in there. It's minimal. So we're going to leave that in because fat does equal flavor, and we do need to have a little bit.
So to eat a good chicken stock is what?
No skin, because that's where all the fat is.
No skin.
No skin. And maybe some who disagree, and that's fine, but I figure I'm going to get just as much robust flavor out of this stock as I would have if I had done a whole chicken or two. In this particular pot, I probably would have cooked down 2 whole chickens. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to ladle this into some pint jars and pressure can it for storage. So that's how you make chicken stock, all by yourself. And there's a whole lot of 1-quart boxes of chicken stock in that pot. And you save a lot of money. You saw how much I spent on that chicken. I probably spent $4.50 on all that chicken, if that. Throw in a few vegetables. I know you probably have some veggies in your veggie drawer that need to have something done with them. Maybe you don't want to put them in a stir fry or cook them up because maybe they've been in there a little too long. Stick them in your stock pot. They're perfect. Even the little wilted green onions that you think you want to throw away, throw them in your stock pot. They'll be perfect. So, I hope you try this, and I hope you enjoy it. And until next time, I'll see ya.